And here we are, folks, on another edition of the Michigan Football Breakdown, focused on the defense. With that man, they call Vance Bedford. Vance, they already here. Just let Vance cook. Just let him go. Just let Vance talk. Just give him the mic and just say go. Just,
Oh
just,
man.
just throw that fish in the grease and let it go. Is what they said, Vance.
Sam, I looked at this game 3 times. I'm trying to, if you'd have caught me last night now, I might have gone way left. I mean, so I had a good night's sleep, so I'm gonna be a lot calmer and try to find the positives in this thing. But the one thing I gotta say is Lincoln Riley was playing chess and Wink was playing checkers. At the end of the game, I mean, he schemed us up that we had no idea what they were doing. And think about this, Sam. With 3 minutes to go in the second quarter, the score is only 7-7. And we're not playing great, to be honest. We really aren't playing great, but 7-7, then they drive the field and make it 14-7. They never should have been down there. I mean, the screens and different things, we never executed. And the thing I'll add to this is that Wink was trying to disguise zone pressures, only bringing 4 and dropping enough guys underneath. But what they were doing on offense, they were getting in 4 strong. So you had a defensive end or a linebacker dropping the wrong way, and we were shortening coverage, and they was wearing us out. Now
we dropping the wrong way.
So I always say if you can count to 3, you can play for me, and sometimes 4. So anytime there's 4 guys strong, I mean, it's 4 receivers, counting them back to that side. That linebacker, who's a hook curl dropper weak, he now has to go hook curl dropper strong to match guys up. And about 3 times, Sam, we didn't do that. One time, number 6, who was their best receiver, we talked about 2 weeks ago, Sam, you got a safety plan half field with nobody on that guy. And so he runs an 8-yard route. And now you got a safety in an open field. Got tackled at 6. I mean, they just schemed this up, and the guys had no idea what to do. I mean, they couldn't count. We had guys dropping the wrong way in his zone pressures. Again, he was only bringing 4, but he was dropping defensive ends, or if he pushed the wheel linebacker, the Mike should have dropped in his spot, or vice versa. And we weren't getting that. We were getting empty. So if you're an empty and you pushing a linebacker dropping a defensive end, Sam, you should have been checking the cover 3 instead of trying to play cover 2. He was trying to protect the secondary, but the formation they were getting, Sam, we just outnumbered. We had no chance. They should have been checking the cover 3. They should have made an adjustment. And the next thing is Wink likes Bear. Well, 12 personnel, Bear is his base call, but they were in 12 personnel. It looked like they're in 11 personnel, and they were throwing the football. So we had defensive ends trying to drop. We were shortening coverage, and so they just going up and down the field. I mean, again, Lincoln Riley was playing chess. Wink was playing checkers. And, brother, he had no kings out there playing at all. We had all kind of issues, Sam.
Mm-hmm. You said they were trying to protect the secondary. So they weren't going to get beat deep, but it was death by 1,000 pinpricks.
Oh, man, by 1,000, you mean 10,000. I mean, but my point is this, is a lot of times you put those kind of pressures, you talk about empty formation or 4 strong, probably back in camp. And you probably hadn't gotten back to that. I have no idea whatsoever if they knew this team was going to come out and do a lot of empty. And a lot of times they motion to empty. You know, you look at the first drive, they have 3 screens that went for big plays. And on each one of those screens, it was 4 strong. They motion a guy out to form trips. Then the back was to that side already. So in coverage-wise, the drop needed to go that way from the backside backer, but it didn't happen. So we didn't have enough guys out there.
So when you say if you can count to 3, and you're saying they can't count. It sounds like to me you're saying if you had a guy that can count, you would have had a guy in position to make those plays.
You'd have had a chance. But see, when you have defensive ends dropping because you're pushing a linebacker, trying to give the idea of pressure, and all of a sudden they're motion and empty, well, you got a defensive end trying to drop. He don't know to drop. So the Mike or whichever backer isn't going, they need to adjust off of him. Guess what they never did? Give me an example. I think I have a diagram. One time, they're in 12 personnel, Sam. They motion and empty. Number 6 is in the slot to the field. We have nobody on him. Nobody. I mean, we don't have a chance because the guys, again, he was in bare defense versus 12 personnel. 12 personnel, again, is 2 tight ends, 1 back, and 2 wide receivers. So Wink's-based defense is getting in bare defense. And Bear's defense is this. You put a guy on the center, 0. You have 2-3 techniques that's on both guards. You have both ends in the 5 or 9. So here's a play right here. So technically it's 4 guys because you got Y, you got Z, and S, and that's a tailback. So in this particular defense, I call it overwheel cover 6. He's playing quarter, half. In other words, the half field is to the boundary. You see a cloud, safety half field. The quarters is to the field. So they in 3 by 1, which is 4 to that side, saying we don't have enough guys. We only have really 3 guys. They got 3 blockers. You see the Mike backer? He dropped to the X. So we got the corner, the Mike, and a safety, 3 guys covering the X. So technically you say, well, where's his number 2? The tailback. Guess what he should have dropped? He should have dropped to his right to the tackle. Now we got enough guys. Now the nickel back, he had to cross face of the guy on the line of scrimmage to get the ball turned back. Sam, he didn't do it. We didn't have enough guys. They got more numbers than we have. And this was a whole ball game in the first half. They found different ways to attack our scheme. What Wink is trying to do is protect the secondary. He's playing quarter, half, only rushing 4 guys. But the problem is when you start dropping defensive ends, especially to the field, and they get in formation like this and empty, the backers need to do most of the adjustments. And right now, the backer dropped the wrong way, in my opinion. They have 4 guys strong. We got 1, 2, 3 guys over there with a guy sitting deep. Sam, we don't have enough guys. That might, because 4 went that way, he should have dropped to his right. And now at least we might have a chance. This play, I think, went to 15+ yards, Sam.
And so the Mike, if he makes that adjustment, I mean, tell me, be the Mike on this play. Put role play for me.
Okay, right now I'm the Mike linebacker, so I see right now they got trips with the back set to that side. Sam, the only one they could have back this way, it's got to be the stretch play because the back is even with the quarterback. Therefore, I know there's no run back this way because number 1, the nose is going across, the wheel back is going. They have no run over this way, so the Mike has already got good alignment. His drop is based off that tailback. He should be pushing hard right now. And to be honest, I didn't draw the whole formation because you see the tight end and wide outside, he started off next to the tackle. He motioned out there. That in itself should have pushed the Mike backer all the way to the right.
Yeah, so he's dropping and he dropping the air. Who is he?
Sam, my old adage is he's killing grass. Sam, he's killing grass.
What threat is he catching over there, Vance?
Huh?
What threat is he seeing over there?
I cast with a friendly ghost. I don't know. It's Halloween or something. I mean, it's Friday the 13th. Jason, I don't know what he's saying. But again, he doesn't understand the concept as far as numbers game. He should be right now because it's 4 guys strong. We got to push him that way. You got the cornerback and the safety backside for the extra receiver. We already got 2 guys right there. So we don't have enough guys because they motion the form trips and then that back step and leaked out and the tackle and the guard went out. Sam, they have the tackle, the guard, they have the tight end, the Z and the S blocking. We are way short, Sam. We don't have a choice. Now, our defensive tackle looping outside, he should have been in the hip pocket of all of this. Sam, he rushed up the field, Sam. I don't know what he rushing for. The guard is pulling. He's stepping outside. Go with the guard. You could make the play. But he didn't do that, Sam. So I don't know what he saw either. So it's a lot of issues here. And this is the point I'm going to make. When you do a lot of things and they come out and give you things you haven't seen or a lot of different formations you might not be prepared for, your kids are going to look slow. The pursuit's not going to be there. So now people say you miss a lot of tackles. Well, when you one-on-one in the open field with a really good athlete, if I'm on offense and my guy can't beat you one-on-one, I'm going to buy me another guy. But on defense, we say, get this guy down. The issue you had in this whole ball game, Sam, it's a lot of guys in space. And we might have been 50-50. But if you're 50-50 on defense and you miss tackles in open field, you're getting chunk yardage. You're getting 15, 20-yard plays, and sometimes 30-yard plays. and you lose ball games that way. And that's what happened in this ball game. Too many one-on-one tackles because of confusion as far as how we drop, our run fits, and a lot of different things happen in this ball game. But Wink was trying to protect the secondary. He was trying to play quarter, half. He was trying to play cover two, pushing the linebacker, dropping the defensive end. The issue was we got empty, and they made no adjustments to that. The kids did not know how to adjust to those formations. Therefore, we were outflanked quite a bit in this ball game.
No doubt, Vance. And so that was by far not the only issue that we saw in this game. You mentioned when they went to the Bear front. I talked about this with Will Heininger, and I'll get to it right here. I think
this is Bear. He's running Bear cover two, but again, Sam, they got 4 strong. They motioned to empty. Again, he went to Bear versus 12 personnel, and once again, 12 personnel now, 2 tight ends, 1 back, and 2 wide receivers. So right now they start off in trips, and actually see the tight end and wide back side. He was in a tight end position. He shifted out there. So now they're in 3-by-1 formation. Then the tailback motion outside. So now they have quads over that side. Again, 4-by-1 formation. We're in Bear. Sam, he's trying to rush 5 guys trying to stop the run, but they're throwing the football. So number 6 is the number 3 guy, the guy getting the screen. Sam, we had nobody in there. The Mike and the Will ran past him. So when number 6 caught that ball, there was nobody in there, Sam. But again, as the previous play we just saw, it's 4 guys strong. They get there a different way, but it's the same thing. What should have happened is that the Mike should have stopped on the Z. The Will linebacker should have stopped on number 6. You got a corner that's going to get out wide and live with. You have to defend inside out when you're playing cover 2. You don't have a choice. You cannot vacate the middle of the field. But they were confused on who was doing what. The way the Will was looking, it looked like he thought he had the tailback man to man. Sam, he was confused. They can say he wasn't, but when I watched the video, to me, he wasn't sure what he was doing. And therefore, how can you overrun number 6 and nobody's on him, Sam? But again, he's playing cover 2 in the back end. He's playing 2 deep, 4 underneath, trying to rush 5. We outnumbered. It's 4 guys over there, Sam. We only got 3 defenders. And then, because Mike and Will overran number 6, then there was nobody in there, Sam. But again, I'm going back to the analogy, one guy's playing chess and one guy's playing checkers. Because in 12 personnel, Wick, I guess in the previous games, went to a Bear front. So therefore, guess what Lincoln did? He's going to go to a Bear front to stop and run. We're going to spread them out and throw the football. He had our number.
Right, and your Mike could not make that adjustment.
They were confused. Sam, they just run. They saw a guy in motion, they just took off running, Sam. They weren't sure what to do, in my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but watching the video, watching the game video, both of them guys, like they were in a panic, they just took off running. They never saw number 6. They never saw him. One guy was going to cover the tailback, the other guy was going to Z on the line of scrimmage, and nobody saw number 6 sitting at the 3 spot.
Right. Again, I think your overarching theme is they're saying, so they getting gashed in the middle, but we're gonna protect the secondary at all costs. What they're saying, they still haven't fixed. They haven't fixed it. Mm-mm. But hey, whatever happened, we ain't gonna let them get behind. We're gonna protect the secondary.
But right? So the thought process behind what he's doing, Sam, was excellent, but they never made adjustments. Mm-hmm. Because again, they just motion empty. Sam, you need to be going to check cover 3. If you check the cover 3, you got a chance because the state did not come down on one guy, the Mike will stop on one guy, and the Will back will stop on one guy. You got to cover. You cannot, if you stay in cover 2, then the Mike and Will can't run out of there. But the kids, again, did not know that. They did not know that. So that was part of the issue that you have to deal with.
Yeah, I'm thinking
because of the formation they were getting.
I'm thinking, based on what you're saying, I'm thinking we're going to see some cover 3 because that still protect the secondary.
Yep.
And it's taking care of what you're saying. But I'm getting back because I'm leading up to the third diagram, is what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Leading up to the third diagram. Because they want to protect it. Clearly, they're saying, and they've been saying all year, we going to protect the secondary. They might get some conversions, but we going to get some pressure.
Yep.
We going to get some negative plays, and we going to stop this run. We going to stop this run. Y'all might get some, and USC in this game, they getting way too much. They probably think we gonna figure it out. But they getting way too much, but we going to stop this run. But Vance, they ain't stopping the run.
No.
They ain't stopping the run in this game.
Sam. Now we did a breakdown of USC 2 weeks ago. Remember? And the play I said they run a bunch of. I say they run some counter, and they run duo. We talked about those things. We didn't stop the counter. Now, this play here, and they did this from a variety of formations. They did it out of split backs. In this situation, again, this is 12 personnel. Again, this is 12 personnel. So what happens on this, you're getting your zone going one way. The tailback is reading this. He's tight. And what he was doing, Sam, he was taking that ball and bending it back. There was nobody there because the end was jetting up the field. See the Z coming across? The Z wasn't blocking. That was number 6. He was going to the flat. The X and the U were blocking. It was like a glorified screen. And the quarterback was coming out. But so 2 things happen here. So the end is in a dilemma. If he jets up the field, if the quarterback's reading, it's a give. So when he gave the football, you see that tackle, he climbed on the backer. When he pinned that backer, boy, nobody was there at all. They ran this play in the first half, I would say maybe 4 or 5 times. And every time they gave it, it was anywhere from 8 to 12-yard gain, Sam. Because the end was jetting up the field. They came back in the second half, and the defensive end was no longer jetting up the field. They took this play away. Now the quarterback will pull it. Now we got to go for blocks outside and tackle that guy. And the next thing they would do out of this formation, they would be 20 personnel with 2 guys in the backfield. And see where the Z is? Put him in the backfield right now. He would do the same thing as the Z would do, and the back would do the same thing. And in the first half, the end was jetting up the field, and they was giving the ball. And so we had problems in the first half with this play. I would imagine this particular play in the run game probably gained somewhere around 50 to 60 yards in the run game. Mm-hmm. And I didn't draw the counter up. Now, the counter, a whole different situation. I'm shocked. And I didn't draw it up because I'm shocked because we talked about we had to stop the counter. Yeah. Now, and I'm going to –
this is basically a bluff. And the end is a dilemma.
Yeah, this is we call it a swap boot. So it's a zone at the same time. If he pulls it, he's swapping with a guy going to the flat. So the only way you stop the end has to slow play it on the line of scrimmage. Now you take away the run, and the backers and the secondary react to the pass. Yeah, and they did a decent job when they start slowing the guy down.
Yeah, okay. They said we're going to take advantage of how aggressive Barham is.
Yes. And this was all the guys. Now let's talk about Barham. On the counter, we saw it was 1 counter in the first half. That's it. Just 1 counter. They had one, I won't call it the G sweep where the backside guard pulled, and the ball went outside. In the second half now, the first drive is 3rd down and 13. We are in dime. My man ran a counter for about 35 yards. Barham, instead of constricting and spilling it, went up the field. Sam, there was nobody there. And then they get in the red zone, they run another counter. And again, as Barham, instead of trying to constrict and go through the guard, he tried to go make a play. Sam, the linebacker is dead in the water. He has no chance. They got a clear shot. The tackle got a clear shot on the front side backer. I mean, the pulling guy coming around, he got the backside backer. Sam, there was nobody there. The guy actually walked in. He jogged into the end zone. So on that drive, I think of the first drive in the third quarter, they get down there probably, it's between 50 and 60 yards on 2 plays a count. And it's because we didn't dime. So you think of 3rd and 15 that, hey, they're going to have to throw the football. Well, again, I'm going back to checkers and chess. The guy say, you're not going to sack my quarterback. So, hey, if we run it and you tackle it, we're going to punt the football and live. And that was his philosophy. Because he went back to last year where he got sacked a lot. So this year, 3-step drop, screen, a quick 5-step drop, and run the football. 100% West Coast offense, which we talked about 2 weeks ago. We said this is a West Coast offense, and this is what they do. They're trying to protect the quarterback, and that's what they did.
All right, man. So they got issues. We know this. We know they got issues. I have a feel for, from watching them play, from listening to you, from talking to them, I got a feel for what they're trying to do strategically. And you laid it out. They want to protect the secondary because we know their situation. They are thin depth wise. Foot speed, they got good speed, not great speed on the corner. Where they have great speed, it's young, so they have inexperience. They can be physical though, in some respect, and they've been injured, so they've been out to protect the secondary, right? They feel like they have numbers and size on the front line, and they got experience at the linebacker level, so they feel like they can be stout against the run, and they feel like their guys can run, or they felt like their guys can run and make adjustments at the linebacker level. Okay. You in the season now, Vance, and we seeing some of the things they thought ain't working out. So now you gotta adjust. So make the adjustments with me, Vance.
Sam, I'm going to simplify. I'm going to go back to base defense. I'm going to move the front, do different things to the front, different stuff to the front. I might, last year, Wink did run a little what we call a field nickel stand. In other words, you bringing a nickel back, you're rolling it either cover 3 or 2 roll, angling back to the boundary, because the previous 2 coordinators, they ran that stand a whole lot. Okay, so I have not seen that this year. Okay, I saw one cowboy in this game, and we made a tackle for loss, because now it's cover 3, and the execution as far as how you cover guys is simpler. When you start pushing a linebacker trying to only bring 4 guys, now the one linebacker who's dropping, he has to make all the adjustments. And right now, to be honest, the guy's not showing me the ability to make the right drops. And the next thing is, when you play a West Coast offense, they are throwing the ball to spots. Well, we spot drop. So when you spot drop, the ball is open. You can't stop it. Because one play, we're in cover 6, so that's quarter, half. It's cloud to the boundary. They're in 3-by-1 with the back offset weak, so it's 2-by-3. He goes to the flat, and you get a slant. Well, the backer drops to the hash. The receiver wasn't coming to him. If he expands, the quarterback got nowhere to go to the football. He dropped to the hash, guy hits that seam. It's a 15-yard gain, Sam, because he spot dropped. Technically, on paper, the coverage was excellent. That's what you wanted. The execution of the coverage wasn't very good. And that's the issue in some of the things. It's the execution as far as how we go about doing things. And when you talk about run fits, again, in the second half, if I take Barham out of the mix, the other guys did a decent job in stopping the counter. So right now, if I'm the next opponent, if I see Barham in there, I'm going to check to him, the counter. I'm going to come at you. I'm going to see if he learned anything right now. I'm just going to be honest with you. So football is about, I'm looking for matchups. In the run game, I know right now that Barham might say go up the field. Therefore, I can kick him out. So certain things I'm going to attack, I said, this is not a strength of his. If you just try to base block him, he's stout. But when you down block and then you're trying to kick out, he's trying to run around blocks to make a play. They got to sit him down and say, son, just execute the defense. You're going to get yours. You're trying to play outside the defense. It was a 4th down and 1. It was 4th down and 1, and it looked like we got to stop. Hillman went through there, missed the tackle. You remember the play I'm talking about? But stay with me, Sam. Guess who should have been on the edge? You're not going to whoop Barham. Mm-hmm. If he stays on the edge, even on a missed tackle, there's nowhere for the guy to go. He destroyed the guy that was trying to block him, but he was too flush, so the ball bounced outside where he should have been. It still should have been no play. But again, that happened to several of the defensive ends. So as I go back and look at the video, defensive end coach, get this right. If you're on the edge, stay on the edge, be constricted tight, but keep the outside on free. So we lost the edge several times because how we fit on the edge. So there are a lot of things technique-wise you clean up that we can get better with. And right now, I see a lot of technique issues, and I'm going to go back to it again because of what Coach Riley did scheme-wise. We had a lot of confusion out there.
Yeah, so several things again. I was careful to not make it be just a Barham thing because, to your point, we have seen other guys mess up on the edge as well, but he was a repeat offender in this game.
Yes, definitely.
He was a repeat offender in this game. So, which gets to the point of run defense for this unit is non-negotiable, Vance. They have got to, all the other things I think are going to be average to maybe good. They have got to be stopping the run. And they got the personnel to do it. This is why I'm harping on this so much. What do you have the ability to be really good at with this group? They have the ability to be really good as a run defense. I don't think they have the ability with this group to be really good in the other. They can be good. You know, they could be solid to good in the other aspects, but really good in the front seven, stopping the run. If guys play responsibility football physically, be in the right gap, play physical football like you're supposed to. And Vance, there are too many times that in these first 5 weeks leading up to this game, where even though statistically, if you look at the statistics, you break them down, you say, okay, that was pretty good. You would go and say, hey man, Sam, this is gonna be a problem. This is gonna be, and you did that. Hey, even in the championship years, you would do that.
Yeah.
They would win games, and you would say, Sam, hey man, Sam, hey, because you remember Mike Barrett's dad used to be watching, and you would say, hey man, Mike Barrett got a problem with this. This gonna come back to get him. This gonna come back to get him. Or I can't remember what it was that you were talking about, and when they lost they wound up losing losing to TCU.
He had a zero blitz, and all during the year, he always dropped both defensive ends when he zero blitz. Against TCU, he didn't. That shallow crosser was on a young freshman kid who's starting in the NFL right now. And he got beat and was nobody there. Normally, when the defensive ends drop, they take those plays away. So, again, he got overly aggressive. In my opinion, I said they did not respect TCU, and that's why he did what he did, and it cost him the game.
Yeah, so even with Mentor in the championship, you're doing the same thing. You called it out the same thing. I mean, when McDonald was here, it's like, hey, man, you got to learn how to, with tempo and FSL. I mean, you were calling out things, same thing. You're like, Sam, you got to watch this. This is going to be a problem. Even when they win, it's going to be a problem. And so I'm giving you all context to say that over the first 5 weeks of this season, every week we've been talking about run fits. Every week we've been talking about run fits. And so it's not new talking about it again this week. And the reason why, not to discount all the other things that you talk about, Vance, but they got to be good stopping the run. They got to be good.
Sam, he had this one play. I think it might have been the second or third series. I'm going to call it Willow. In other words, the will linebacker going to rush outside. The defensive end needs to just go into the B gap. You understand what I'm talking about? So the will backer rush outside. The defensive end goes in the B gap. Well, guess what the defensive end did? He went in the A gap. Guess where the ball hit? In the B gap. On paper, scheme-wise, excellent call. The problem was it wasn't executed. So let's go back. So my question is, why is it not getting executed? Either you're doing too much, or the kids are confused, or they're afraid to ask questions. Because on paper, I go back to 1995. We were running that same stuff in 1995. I mean, McDonald ran that stuff. Mentor ran that stuff. The key is execution. We're not executing, Sam. So why are we not executing? Why are we having a lot of bust? When you
So
have busts, big plays occur, Sam. That's what's going on right now. So it's a lot of things going on. So my thing again, Sam, is that I'm a simpleton. When things not going right, we're going back to the base. What is our base defense? Whatever it is, we're gonna get good at that with a few things here and there, so our kids can play fast. Our kids are not playing fast, and when you start going up tempo killed us, Sam.
mhm.
We trying to run. I can't believe that the D line coach is trying to run a guy on without no substitution by the offense. That happened twice. You
Yeah,
can't do that.
that's
That's not on the kid.
that's on the
That
coach. That's on the
it's
coach.
up tempo. So it's like,
Yeah,
coach, what are you doing?
that's
You
on the coach.
can't do that.
Yeah,
I mean, so
Subs-
up tempo also, we were confused, didn't get lined up several times. So again, my man Riley, he had Wink's number, baby.
yeah, that's on the running substitutions, getting lined up the tempo. That's definitely on the coach. When you talk about the run fit piece of it, I think it's twofold. I think you start out schematically saying you said it was a good call that's not being executed. The first thing, and so you tell me if I'm thinking right. First thing I ask is, are we seeing this being messed up by all the guys, or are we seeing this being messed up consistently by the same guy? Because now we got to say, listen, do we need to be playing different guys? Do we need to shorten our rotation? And it don't matter. It does not matter if it's an elder guy. If it's an older guy making a mistake, then either you fix it or we just gonna have to play somebody else.
It's
This is where
it's
we are
it's,
right
it's not just a single guy, Sam. Each week it's a different guy. Each play could be a different guy. And that goes back to, man, cut back what you're doing. All that stuff is great
now.
on paper. Okay. If I go to a game with 15 calls, next week I'm going to game with 8 calls. Some coaches say, well, I don't have enough. Well, if your kids execute, you have enough.
Then it gets
I
to
mean,
the point.
so that's the name of the game. So now again, when you talk about fitting the run, don't come back and say, well, different defenses, we fit the run differently. See, that's something that we talked about before. See, to me, that's an excuse. We're too far in the season to be saying that.
Mhm.
Find a way to simplify, so therefore those kids are doing the same thing over and over again to make it clean.
All right, and so we get to that. So you simplify. Now you get to the point. You got a really liberal rotation. You play a lot of guys. Now, so you simplify. Maybe that allows you to play a lot of guys, or maybe you could do more things if you play fewer guys.
I'm
So it's
playing
6
fewer
to 1 now.
guys. Sam, you got to play fewer guys. All that rotation stuff, that's great. Yeah, I feel you. Okay. But guess who's not rotating? The offensive line don't rotate, or the opponent. They're not rotating, Sam. So cut back on some of your rotation. Let the guys get a feel for the game. Okay, so now let's say that you have 70 snaps in the game. So for my starters, whoever they are, I don't know who the starters are. If I can take 20 snaps off of them, that's 20 snaps less in the fourth quarter they're going into than their offensive lineman has. So they still fresh. So at the end of the day, the linebackers. I mean, my man number 15, I'm sorry, son, you're not coming off the football field, son. You're supposed to be my bell cow. There's no rotation for you. Suck it up. Go try and get some Gatorade, have some oxygen on the sideline, whatever it takes. He's my bell cow. I'm not taking him off no football field. He should be a guy, Sam. This might have been one of his better games as far as making plays, running from sideline to sideline. Now, he missed some plays, so don't get me wrong. Athletically, he looked like the guy I saw at the latter half of last year. Now, he missed some plays, don't get me wrong, but to me, athletically, watching him run around, he played better. And so, but for me to take him off the field, he better pass out. I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry. Hey, if you can get on one leg, you better stay your butt out there. Don't look to the sideline. That means at nighttime, you need to be running the stadium steps. Get yourself in shape because you're not coming off the football field. I'm sorry. It's time for, if Rob Moore is ready, it's time for him to play a whole ball game. All that rotate, I'm not a rotation guy. I mean, I know the game is different. I hadn't coached in 9 years. I get that. But I never rotated guys. Man, suck it up. That's why we condition you to be able to give me 70 plays a game. There's no such thing as being tired. You are tired after the football game. If you're in the secondary. Before the half, they drive down. It's 7-7. the touchdown. And I think I texted you during the game. I said, I have no idea what they were doing. Okay, again, they in 12 personnel. You with me? So Sanders, the freshman, said he on their best receiver. First of all, I'm asking this question. Why is a freshman on their best receiver? That's okay. Things happen, that can happen, okay? But I got a safety. It's like they were doubling because the corner outside, like he was on his own. So why was Sanders inside with the safety sitting inside?
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be. Yeah.
So now the corner, I mean, the receiver could run a corner route. Basically, he ran like a fade route. Now we get a great jam on him as good coverage, but why didn't you slide outside to get him back inside to where your help is? Was it designed for you to be inside? Did he do a freshman mistake? I don't know what it was.
They both were wrong. He was supposed to be head up, and the safety was actually supposed to be outside.
Okay, so but I knew something was wrong with it. But my question to you this, Sam, why? Why did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
Again, are we doing too much, or the kids must be confused because it's happening. So again, what do you do in the red zone? What's your basic coverage? If a guy gets beat because a guy better than you and you execute the defense, that's great. But why is it happening? What's the confusion about that? We know who that guy is, Sam.
And he played great defense under the circumstances.
He did, but it was a touchdown.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't have been. You shouldn't be able to throw the ball to that guy if he's double.
Right.
That means that the freshman corner and the safety behind them, they did not communicate. That's the execution thing. So why are they not executing?
Yeah, because you wind up nullifying the double that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You lost it all. But he's a freshman, so the safety. I'm telling that guy where to get lined up. There's no confusion. There should be no confusion. So I'm gonna put that on the safety, not helping the freshman out. The freshman trying to survive. Mm-hmm. Safety, you've been playing ball. You got a freshman. Let's go get him lined up. That's on you.
Yeah, I think was Rod the safety on that play?
I don't know. I can't recall.
Yeah, I can't recall who the safety was on that play, but right, 100%. So I want to get to the questions for the people, but now we making the adjustment. So I think the broad adjustment is, you said simplify how much you're doing and how many you're doing it with. So yes. you're watering down your call sheet. So you're not calling as much defense and you aren't rotating as much. Schematically, sounds like you're keeping quarter half. You're throwing some more cover 3 in there.
Because cover 3 was big for him last year. He ran a lot of cover 3 last year, and he was very successful running cover 3 last year. I call it strong buzz. They had a nickel and a strong thing to come down to the same side. So he was taking away the passing game to the field, and the kids did a great job of executing that last year.
Yeah, I think yeah, they're what we started out with, like they're gonna keep protecting the secondary to a certain degree. I do think they will get more comfortable as the guys are showing that they're back physically, health-wise on the back end. They're gonna get more comfortable playing some more man. Because I think Wink wants to do that anyway. But they haven't been doing that as much as they have in the past. They'll get more comfortable with that, but this will allow them to protect that secondary and still play some better defense in the middle, which you want them to do. But man, Vance, as we get back to answering these questions, tell me how you emphasize and practice throughout the week. Now we got fellas. We got to stop this run. How are you emphasizing that?
I just did, Sam. I simplified it. I just did.
Here's
the movement, Sam, just think about it. I'm trying to stop a zone play, but yet I'm a 3 technique and I'm angling. Well, guess what? That offensive line is taught to take him exactly where you're going with his momentum. Therefore, if I can get the backer, there's a crease in the defense. You see my point? So when you start doing all those type of things, you got guys moving that way all the time. Well, offensive lineman, when you're running, for example, duo, you just helped them out. So therefore, I'm putting my hand in the dirt sometimes. Let's go play football. I'm going to go to his strong zone, which is 3 deep that he did. I'm going to bring the corner off the edge or the nickel Sam that they used to do quite a bit, which he did last year sometimes. I'm going to simplify it for My Mike and Will gonna play Mike and Will more than trying to be a defensive end. Or I'm pushing this guy and dropping that way. If we execute and now we simplify, we're gonna play faster, which means we're gonna play more physical. Sam, we're not a physical football team on defense. We're getting pushed around. Let's just be for real. We're getting pushed around because guys are moving, guys not sure. And again, it's just my observation. I could be totally wrong. When I watched that television copy 3 times, I'm like, they're not. We soft. We look confused. We can't play fast. If you thinking, and all of a sudden I got a guy that's 325 pounds hit me in the mouth, I'm thinking about what I have to do. Sam, you're finna get knocked off the ball. It's just that simple. Or we moving and guys in the wrong gap, all of a sudden it's a crease in there. As I said, when on paper, that's a good call. Guy just hit the wrong gap. Therefore, that guy hit the running back hit an empty gap. He gone 15, 20 yards. And that goes back to execution. Therefore, if these kids can't execute this particular scheme, it goes out. We're not running that, so we're gonna go back to base defense. We're gonna go over defense. We're gonna run some pirate. That's bringing the 3 technique and the A gap, the defensive end, and the B gap, and the linebacker. I can flow outside. I'm finna simplify. I want to play hard. I want to play fast. I want to play physical. Because why? I'm cutting back some of that stuff. All that stuff is great. All those schemes are great. But when somebody has out schemed you, which is what USC did to us, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Your kids were confused. You can sit back and say, well, they know what to do. No, they don't. When I'm watching that TV, I'm watching the game. I'm like, man, what are we doing? The kids look lost. And then that's not on the kids. I've been a coach. I've been there, done that. I had some issues like that myself. So I get it. And the frustration with the coaches, I can't ever get frustrated with the players. Guess what? It's not the NFL. I can't go get off a guy off the street. You have what you have. Get them lined up, cut back, simplify, whatever it is. Now, if I'm playing against Michigan right now, I'm going to come in 12 personnel. I hope you come up in your bare front. I'm splitting them guys out just like USC did, and I'm throwing the football when I get to 12 personnel, knowing you got 5 defensive linemen out there. That means in coverage, you got to be playing man-to-man, or you zone blitzers, means you shorten the zone. I'm going to wear you out in the pass game. He just opened the door for people to attack him in 12 personnel. Now, some coaches not that good, but if you're a good offensive coordinator, if Al was coming in and Al saw what USC just did, man, Al going to be in 12 personnel on 3rd down and 15 and hoping you go to dime.
All right, now what if my Mike starts to make the adjustment and he can start counting to 3?
But then, you start adding more and doing more, but they have to show the ability to do that in the game, not just practice. It's one thing in practice. Coaches back there correcting thing. Hey, you got to take this guy. In the game, it's nobody back there. But again, if I can get my base defense to execute, make plays, and throw in a few pressures here and there, so whether they come out empty, whether they come out in 4 strong, whatever it may be, and we make the proper adjustments, I continue to add to the package. Right now, again, scheme-wise, I thought he did some good things trying to protect the secondary. The issue is he kept going into empty and 4 strong, and the kids, they dropping like it's just a base formation, which you can't do. They have an overload formation. Therefore, we have to overload with them. That didn't happen.
All right, folks, if you have questions for Vance, put them in the chat. You have questions for Vance, put them in the chat, and we will get to them after he gives his grades, which I think you can tell which way the grades are going to go. But if you have questions for Vance, put them in the chat, and we will start knocking them down. Because here's the thing. I said this to Vance before. I said it with Al on. Listen, man, they have the ability to be a good run defense. Everything we said, it is hopeless as all of that may sound. It ain't hopeless. Like these dudes, they have the guys, they have the pieces to be a good run, to be a stout run defense. They don't have the pieces to be as multiple as they were on the back end and do all the different things that they were able to do defensively on the back end and pressure with just 4 up front. They don't have those kinds of things. They don't. But to be a stout run defense and to play off of that, they got to be, they can do that if they get this If they get that part of it together in practice this week, which I'm hoping is the case, fans.
That's why you simplify, Sam. Everything you're saying, in order to do those things, you got to cut back. So the kids know exactly what they're supposed to do, regardless of what formation it comes out in. But you got, for example, let's say we're going to defend the counter, Sam. But you have 5 different calls versus the counter. That means you playing it 5 different ways. So you're getting the game based on who in the game. Maybe that guy didn't get that rep in practice. Maybe he was second team, but didn't get that rep. So all of a sudden, he getting the game, don't know what to do, and the ball push you for 15, 20 yards. If you cut back, guess what? He's getting that rep.
Yes, sir. All right, Vance. Give me your grades, and then we'll start getting to the questions. Give me your grades.
Sam, I'm giving a D across the board, bro. Come on, man. Come on. It's in the first half, they only gave up 14 points, but we didn't play great. We got a couple of turnovers. Otherwise, it could have been 21 to 7 in the first half, but we got some turnovers. I mean, so now they got a D. I mean, there's no sense in breaking it down. I think my man 15 had one of his better games. You had a couple of defensive ends I thought did a few things better. Okay, but overall, for the defense, that's a D. You can't play that way. You cannot be at the University of Michigan and give over 200 yards rushing against USC, who is playing with a beat up offensive line that Illinois just physically whipped. What does that say about Michigan? You can't do that. I'm sorry. They got a D.
Yeah, 220 yards rushing. I just there's
Maybe
just,
if they was playing the wishbone and running every time, I said, okay, it's a possibility. But they West Coast. They running doggone counter, a backside guard, pull them with a sweep and running duo. Sam, that's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to happen.
yeah,
Not in Michigan.
Yeah, I'm giving them their credit. They won, and they won emphatically at every phase. I expected them to be able to throw for 260 yards or so. I expected that. You don't like seeing how they did it, and the free pass they got in the middle of the defense. Would have liked to have seen better adjustments in that regard. But you got a chance even with what they're doing if you can stop the run. You have no chance if they can run the football like they ran it. Zero chance. So,
and Sam, when I went to dime, I was always concerned about I make sure I run fits are right. When you go to dime, that means you have 6 DBs in there, so you lighten load, and so you got to make sure that you can. If it's 3rd down and 15, that we can get it down where it's 4th down and 5. It's not supposed to go for about 35 yards. It's not supposed to happen that way, and that's what happened. And so you got to find a better way to execute. And after those plays, Sam, did Wink or his staff realize in 12 personnel that we can't be playing bear because every time it seems like we're getting bear, he's spreading us out. He's running screens, throwing the ball down the football field, getting empty, and we shorthanded. So Wink got to reevaluate, is bear the answer to 12 personnel? Because now he's going to see more of that going down the line. So in our next opponent, if they come to 12 personnel, he and bear, and they spread us out, that's on him, Coach. Sam, that's on him. That's bad coaching. I'm going to call a spade a spade. That's why I'm retired, because I could be honest. I could run for president because I could be honest. I ain't got to lie about nothing.
If we see Bear versus 12 personnel in this game,
and they throw the ball, everybody should be mad. I'm telling you that right now. They spread us out, looking like 11 personnel. That's on Wink. That's on Wink, okay? So right now I'm telling hey, stay away from Bear for a while. I know you love Bear. You loved it last year, and that's your answer. It's one thing if I'm in inside the 10-yard line, they're probably going to pound you. Now you can go one-on-one. You're in open field. You got defensive ends dropping and defensive ends rushing. They got 5 guys out. You're in trouble. If you can't sack the quarterback, which we're not doing right now, you're in trouble.
Yeah, they talking about how you gave an example of Wink having the right defensive call and the players didn't get it done. That is an example of you saying, hey, that's when you gotta scale back. When your call is right and they can't do it, then that's like, I think I gave an example one time. You know what? This was something that I talked to Josh Gaddis taught me this. He was it was a game that they did. They were playing Wisconsin. I never forget this story. They were playing Wisconsin, and man, I swear to God, Cade McNamara left like 3 touchdowns on the field in the first half. I mean, wide open. The calls were wide open. He left them on the field. So the calls were like, he can't do no more as a coach. So you can get caught up in, man, I made great calls. I mean, hey, player execution. You can get caught up in that, or you can call what he can do.
Exactly.
he said, I got to call what this dude can do.
Sam, I'm at Texas, and we playing a bunch of young kids. And so we're in a zone blitz, it's 2 check 3. Anytime it's 2 by 2, it's cover 2. But anything else, 3 by 1 and empty.
We broke up there for a little bit where I said he told the story where I said he said I got to call what they can do. Pick it up from there.
Exactly. So again, I'm at Texas. I'm playing. We got a bunch of sophomores in secondary. We got a zone blitz. It's called 2 check 3. 2 by 2 is cover 2. But any 3 by 1 and empty, it goes to cover 3. Sam, they never check. They ain't empty. I got a corner playing cover 2. And he should have been in deep third. Guy ran right by him, Sam. So I've been there. And I thought long and hard that I don't think our kids can do that. I made a mistake and put it in there. And guess what? They couldn't do it. So that wasn't the kid's fault. That was my fault. And I was always one of those guys. I work with BJ. BJ will tell you that I always try to cut back. I say, if it didn't work in practice, it's not going to work in the game. But they can do it. Well, they got to do it in practice. Mm-hmm. And I learned my lesson the hard way by not just sticking to what I thought down deep. I don't think they can do it. And so my suggestion to Wink, you call some good things. When I go back and look at it, the execution is terrible. Therefore, when I look at the execution, that means you're doing too much because the kids can't do it. Therefore, scale back to what they can do. You will have more success.
All right. We have a good baseline for questions for Vance, and they are flowing in.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's plenty of questions. There's plenty of questions. And let's start knocking them down for Coach Bedford, who pulls no punches. EMAC says, well, when you see it's not working, Coach, why not just adjust mid-game?
Well, he tried. Let's go back to the second half. One of the plays I had drawn up there, split zone, I call it swap boot. They quit jetting up the field, and the defensive end, when he saw it, he stepped downstairs the line of scrimmage. We stopped that run game right there. We forced them to throw the ball. We got them for minimal gain. So that was one of the adjustments they made. But they did not make the adjustment for the counter. But they have made the adjustment for the counter the entire year. And then I think I forgot who it was. It was the number 33 defensive end. He hit the puller one time, and it was a 1-yard loss. He hit that thing flush. I mean, so you have certain guys, they play the counter better than other guys right now.
Yeah, I thought TJ got number 4. TJ Guy got in there and played it better.
He did. He did. So certain things got executed, but now it's late in the game. You down 21-7. And offensively right now, we're not ready to come back from a 21-7 game.
Yep. And again, those same defensive ends. Now there were times where they didn't play it as well, but in this game, it was really one
guy showed up more than other guys. Yeah.
All right, on to the next one. See if you agree with this. JSJ297 said, I really like our defensive tackle combo of Benny and Payne in the middle for the runs. They seem to mesh well together. Vance, do you agree with that?
You know what? Benny's playing better for certain. So they rotate so many guys and they do so many different things. It's hard to tell. But Benny has probably played his most physical game. He did some good things. Do you know one time Benny was playing defensive end?
Yeah. That was that when they were in Bear? When they were in Bear?
He could have been like, why is he out there? He's too big and slow to do that. Again, we got guys in position doing things that On paper, all that stuff looks great, but in action, it's not great at all. But no, that's a valid point. Those guys together doing some decent things, doing better.
Yeah, and that kind of gets to the question that we were talking about earlier when you talk about how many guys you are playing. Are they better playing the run when there's certain guys in there?
That's always the case. Maybe he's putting guys in there based on first and second down. I don't know that, a series. A lot of coaches would do that. But again, somewhere, Sam, who's your bell cow guys? In other words, who are your starters? If you have 70 plays, who are the guys who will give me 45, 50 plays up front? That's what you want to know. And so those guys, first and second down or third down or 1 and 3, they might be in there. Third down and long, they out because they can't rush the passer. So whoever those guys are, you need to find them. And now the more they play as the game goes on, they get a better feel for how they are being blocked and who's blocking them. And right now, they don't have a feel for that because you rotate so many guys in and out.
Yeah, a guy who shows up, seemed to show up in a run game a good portion for me is 95 Trey Pierce.
He's strong as a bull.
Yeah.
I saw him grab a guard one time, and it was like on a 5 or 6 yard line going in, and he grabbed a guy and just flat destroyed him. I'm like, oh my goodness, where has that been? Man, so they got some guys who can do some things, but again, find out who your players are and put them in a game and let's just roll with them.
Yep. All right, let's go back. And here's another one, Tay 8531. Why were defensive backs running the blockers and accepting blocks against screens instead of trying to? Well, you don't want to go around blocks.
You got to be careful about going around them. I mean, it's based on what a ball carry is. If the ball carry is farther away from the blocker, you got a chance to set them up, try to get around them. But the closer they get now, you got to put your hands and control that blocker. The thing is that it was too many guys out there blocking them. And I said this 4 years ago, Sam. When you look at run defense, you got an A gap, B gap, and C gap. Remember we did a whole thing about playbook, about gaps? Well, on the outside, it's still gaps. The corner, who's ever primary support, he has the outside gap. The next guy, whether it be a nickel safety or linebacker, he has a next gap that way. What was happening on those screens, the guy coming inside out was not getting to his proper gap. So therefore, it's a crease in there. So again, those are things that you can work on in practice, the proper fits to what you have to do. Because right now, a lot of times, guys were not in the proper fits on the perimeter. Therefore, the ball was creasing us.
Yeah, he said, yeah, Pierce is a beast. Yeah, man, don't. Tay, if you see dudes running around blocks, that ain't do. You should see.
That will get you beat.
You need to see that dude coming out the game.
That's right.
Run around blocks, bro. Yeah, well, you saw a guy run around a block and a touchdown got scored.
Yep. I mean, that's the easy answer, Sam. When you're sitting in the stands, well, we have all answers. I have all answers right now. In the course of a game, sometimes you got to have the right guy in the press box to really have your ear. I mean, I'm in Louisville, and we go into a game, and Clint Hurts, the D-line coach, Clint say, we want to do a lot of twisting early on in this game. About midway through the second quarter, Clint come to me, hey, Vance, we don't need to twist anymore. Got you, Clint, play base defense. But again, I listened to the guy who coached that position. I listened to my linebacker coach say, Vance, we can do A, B, C, D. I listen to those guys. There are a lot of coordinators, they don't listen to anybody. So therefore, no adjustments ever gets made. But I was open to what the guys were saying because we were in it together. It wasn't just me. It was all of us together that made this thing work.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Unforsake 3211. Vance, what's the rationale of having your DBs play so far off the receivers, allowing them to catch the ball constantly, getting first downs?
A lot of times, again, we had guys not aligned properly. We played some cover 2 when we were rushing 4% of Michael Will. We played some quarter, half. We had a lot of busts in secondary, guys. We had some receivers that nobody was even on. We had one time, number 6, the best receiver in the slot, the safety 12 yards deep because they were in 12 personnel and Bear. The backer should have walked out on him, but he didn't. So therefore, he runs a 7-yard little curl, catch the ball. He in open space, you asked for trouble. that was our issues in this ball game more than guys playing so far off. I mean, Wink tried to run some two and some quarter, half, try to do different things to protect them. The thing is, we had a lot of missed assignments as far as our linebackers going properly where they got to fit. Therefore, guys appeared to be wide open, and they were.
Back to it. JW0284. Vance, do you think teams will continue this quick game and counter runs towards Barham? Would you move him back to linebacker until passing downs? He seemed to get out of position fast with that rush.
He's trying to go get a sack, but his defensive end coach or the coordinator sent him down and say, "Babe, you gonna get your sack's gonna come. Your sack's gonna come. Just go back to the fundamentals we've been working on the entire time. In the quick passing game, you either got to play some man, some cover two, quarter, half, put a body on a body to take things away. Otherwise, you really can't. I mean, so it's different things schematically you can do to take away the quick passing game. But no, Barham, you moved him to defensive end for a reason. I'm leaving him right there and go play. You just got to settle him down and say, baby, just play within the scheme. You're going to be okay. You're going to get your sacks. You're all right.
Yeah, it seemed like a coachable guy, and this helps you with the pros, man. I like it. It's all the bottom line. Help the team, help your profile, help your draft status. I mean, it all goes hand in hand, right?
That's everything, Sam. When the scouts come around, when I was in the NFL, I used to tell the players, you know what? I got the last word. It's called an ink pen. They gonna call me and ask me. I'll say he's not coachable. That's what I'll say. Hey, I can get you now. I'll get you later. It's your choice. So when the pro scouts come around and ask the coaches, is he coachable or not? Does he learn? Does he take coaching? I think Barham does take coaching. Another thing, they gonna settle him down. He's gonna be just fine.
Yeah, this is it's a matter of emphasis. So that you said if we see them in Bear versus 12 personnel, that's a lack of adjustment. If we see not taking on a kick out block, running around blocks on the outside, getting too far upfield, not setting the edge, well, because here's what we know. It can't be that they not talking about it. That's just, come on now.
Sam, you and I have been talking about it, Sam.
Right.
Sam, you and I have been talking about it. And I don't have the video. I'm not in practice like them. If you and I notice it, I know they notice it.
So I'm talking about after this game specifically. It can't be that they ain't in practice saying, hey, man, you can't. This is how we got to play this. Come on. It cannot be. Absolutely cannot be. So that being the case, either he's going to play it a certain way, or not just him. Either they're going to play it a certain way in this game, or somebody can't make the adjustment.
Sam, you go back to Oklahoma, they running quarterback power in the first half. Barham went in the game playing linebacker in the second half. Mm-hmm. We had the same issues. So again, it was, and the answer that you say you heard is that we play a variety of defenses and we defend it different ways. Okay, so if I'm a coach, I'm not using that as an excuse anymore.
Right.
I mean, I'm not. I would ever say that again. If I got to say that again, it's not the players. That's on me. I'm going to clean it up right. It's not going to be any confusion how we do this. It's going to be clean.
Yeah. Here's what happens when you have a game like this. There's just not any way to kind of look, because you could, like I said at the beginning, you could look at the first 5 games and look at the stats and say, hey, we got a good run defense. We just had a couple plays we gave up. You give up 220. I tip my cap and give USC credit, but you give up 220 yards like that, you can't. Now there's some things that you can't ignore. You got to say, okay, we got some problems we got to fix. This being one of them, right? So now you come out of this and either every guy is doing it a certain way, and any guy that's not doing it a way, either you're not capable or you're freelancing, and we got to play the guys at this position that are going to do it this way, period.
Right. I'm making a claim for him right now. I'm making it simple. But I keep saying this. I'm cutting back. I'm downsizing my defense because we have enough talent and depth up front in the front 7 that if we execute, we are going to play so much better. Right now, we've got a lot of things, and again, schematically, all that stuff is great, but we're not executing. And so I got to figure out, why are we not executing now? That's where I started. What is the problem? Let's clean this problem up. And sometimes the position coaches, you better start speaking up. If you're sitting back there, so I said it. No, you didn't say it strong enough. Get in the meeting and we got to shout at each other. That's fine. I'm in NFL. Me and the defensive coordinator, we yelling at each other. I got the head coach running down there, the GM running down there. I mean, we going at each other and we tight as thieves. We go out for a drink after that. But he got my point of view. I got his point of view. And we moved on. I mean, so you got to protect your players, but coach, they can't do that. You can call that, but I'm telling you right now, beyond, I can't coach them to do that, period. So if you call the coach, we ask them for trouble. And it's got to get to a point that if they're not doing that in the staff room, then you got problems. You have problems.
Okay. Back to the questions for Vance. The next one comes from John T 313. He said, "This is my favorite show. Vance, if you can see these run fit issues from watching from your couch, why do you think they haven't been fixed yet? Do the defensive coaches love their wives, Vance?"
You ought to change, John. You ought to change, brother. Again, the answer Sam had given me from the coaches is that because they do a variety of things, that's been the issue, how we fit to run. So I keep saying, okay, I'm going to simplify it. I'm not having this problem after this game, Sam. I am not going to have this problem after this game. It's simplified enough where our kids can execute. It's just that simple.
Yeah. All right. Next one is it comes from, as they keep coming through, quick game encounter, defensive backs running the box. This gets to the other one. This comes from Facebook. It says, "Why are we rotating guys so much?" And Moore and Barham not on the field the majority of the time, or I guess he's saying he wants more, Derek Moore and Barham on the field the majority of the time, I think is what he's saying.
I think Guy's a good player. I like Guy. He played well last year. At the end of the day, a 3-man rotation between those guys to keep them fresh, especially for the fourth quarter, the game is close. That's when Barham's going to show up. But again, I'm not there. I don't know how those guys learn, how they work, and what is their philosophy on what they're doing as far as who they're playing. I don't know that. But that's a valid point that he's making. I mean, those, again, like I said, if those are your best guys, if you got 70 plays, they're getting 50 snaps. Not 70, they're getting 50. That means the other guys get another 20.
All right. All right. So this kind of gets into what we're talking about. Do you feel like the players are just trying to do more instead of just playing their responsibilities, Vance? That's from K Diggity 300.
Maybe a couple of guys are, trying to do more than what they need to do. Just play within the framework of the defense. But overall, I don't think so. I'm going back to this. I just think they look confused in this last ball game. I really do. And they saw a lot of formations that they hadn't really seen the whole year. So the adjustments that the coaches had to make, I mean, we didn't make them until later on in the game, and still we had troubles, for example, stopping the screen. We had trouble with the screen even in the third and fourth quarter. We had trouble in the third quarter stopping the counter. We had trouble stopping the sweep play, the backside guard, and the ball going outside. Because, again, we didn't fit the pulling guard the right way. All those things got to get cleaned up. After this ball game, Sam, we talked about this way too much. We have. No excuse for it to happen. If it is, it's not the players anymore. And I hate to put it that way, but clean this up. Quit saying we're doing what we different defense, we do different things. No, you're doing the wrong thing there. Clean it up. Make it simple so the guys can play hard and fast. You don't make them kind of mistakes, and you're going to play better defense. Don't try to outsmart everybody.
So this kind of gets into the next one. Says, why didn't we keep a simplified approach that was working at the end of last season? Seemed like he reverted to want to use his complicated stuff. It seems like players confused with no fundamentals.
Man, let me tell you something. They had them two big tackles inside. They were first round picks as far as I remember, right, Sam?
Mhm.
Guess what you don't have right now? You don't have them two beasts inside, bro. They clean up a lot of things. When you lose guys like that, you do a few more things. You with me to help to cover up some of those things. But when you go way left in doing those things, you get yourself in trouble. I'm saying cut back on some of it. That's going to help everybody out. Now I think the kids will play faster. The confusion will be a little bit less, and we're going to play better defense.
Yeah, I 100%. I think it's that. I think twofold. I think it's you don't have the same guys that would allow you to be as simple as you were. You just let them play up front. And then number two, you figure it's the second year in the scheme, so guys should be more comfortable with the concepts that you want to install because they've been in your scheme. So
And Sam, and 2 years ago in the secondary, we had two ballers back there too. Mike, my number two, we had some real dudes, Sam.
yeah, just true. Just true.
So again, you're talking about four guys that are starting in the National Football League.
Right.
Sam.
Right.
We don't have that kind of talent right now. Those guys could make up for a lot of things. How many times do you ever see little Mike miss a tackle?
Right. 100%. I'm right there with you.
I mean, so you missing some of those things. When I had Charles Woodson, he didn't miss a tackle. When he left, I had some guys miss tackle. They weren't Charles Woodson. That's why he's called the College Football Hall of Fame. I mean, so again, that's all part of it. And you missing some of those great individual players that go into the NFL and play great.
Yeah, man. So I'm with you, Vance. But as far as the reason of why you would do more, that you don't have the same guys that can blow up things themselves. So you got to help the defense more, and you got guys who've been in the system, so you figure they can handle more. But now you got to adjust. Okay, they can't handle everything.
No, they
So
can't.
now let's scale back. All right, so let's get into a few more questions. Few more questions for Vance. All right. Let's get to Vance. Shadyville 03 says, is there anything that can be done to hide the line to hide the linebackers in coverage, Vance?
They gotta just practice at it over and over again as far as their drops based off of coverage. And again, in this particular ball game, he would push the Mike linebacker, and the Will had to really replace him in coverage. So he pushed the Will linebacker, then the Mike had to adjust his drops. So those guys had to do different things as far as their drops. And a lot of times, because of the formations they were getting, they dropped to the wrong spot. So that did hurt them somewhat. Because prior to this game, they were pretty decent for the most part. This game here was just, man, it was outrigger. It was not very good.
Next one. Mr. Jones says, Vance, if you were coach, would you be playing Sullivan more than Rolder?
I'm not there enough, but I like Sullivan. They know I like Sullivan. I think he's more athletic. He's better in space. I think Rolder is a more physical guy. Athletically, I think he's missing something, but I know the staff likes him quite a bit. But I'm not there. But when I see the other kid in there, I see a better athlete. The guy's going to be better in pass drops athletically. Now, Rodham probably just know what to do. Maybe that's why he's playing more. I have no idea. But I do like the other kid more, to be honest.
Can you? I don't know if this is a fair question to ask you, Vance. So I'm saying that ahead of time. But Tyler 8496 said, "Do we think playing 50% fewer formations would improve or double the results?" So he's basically saying, can you quantify how much you would scale back?
You know what? I don't. That's a tough question to answer.
Right.
The best coaches I've been around, we had a base defense that adjusted to anything. That's the first thing you look at. So once the kids understood the base defense, that's the foundation, like building a house. That is the foundation. You got a strong foundation. Now you start adding it a little bit piece at a time. So as long as they understood that, then you add the next step. Right now, when you say what is Michigan's base defense, everybody uses the term, well, we're multiple. I know that. I know you're multiple, but everybody got something base that when the game on the line, guess what you're going to do too? You're going to that base. So what is that? What is your base? So I'm in Texas. So first year we got a guy named uh, Malcolm Brown. Very technique. He was first round pick by New England. I played 3-4. I played 4-3. In key situations, you know, I put him in a 3. You know why? He's a playmaker. But for other guys, sometimes I'll be a 3-4, which put him in a 4 technique because that helped the other guys, made us a better team. But in situations where I had to win something, I said, one-on-one, go win me a ball game. But I had a base defense. So my question right now to Wink, what is your base? If you say you're multiple, that means you don't have a defense. That's the answer every defensive coach has. Well, we're multiple. I mean, tell somebody else that. What is your base defense and how do you build off of that? And now you got something. See, I could have told you the last 2 coordinators what they were. You're gonna see some quarter half. You're gonna see nickel Sam. You're gonna see some cowboy. You're gonna be over defense. I'm gonna tell you what they're doing. I see it in the league right now. I know what they're doing. I don't know what we're doing right now because we do so many different things.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna rapid fire these last ones. These last questions that are in here right now. So let's start going in succession. Starting right here. Vance, Russian flow. What play calls are good for young players to understand their responsible gaps and run fits?
Well, if you just line up again, I'm going back to you got to have a base defense. If I'm an over defense, which means if you got a tight end in the game, it's a 3 technique and a 6 technique to that side. That means a guy on the guard, guy on the tight end. Then you got a 2-eye away from the tight end and a 5 technique. That's what they ran a lot of with Jesse. Okay, so therefore those guys are gap side. Now you get your 2 linebackers. It's 1 gap defense. Those guys know what their gaps are. They got to attack. They got to win the battle in front of them. As simple, without any kind of movement. Then off of that, then you have maybe 1-man movement up front. So the backer now is called gap exchange. For example, the defensive end goes inside, the backer goes outside. And you continue to build off of that. So I'm keeping it simple. My base defense, I'm carrying that with me every ball game, and let's go play.
This one wants to know. Bob Pennington said, Houseman, was he killing a lot of grass in this
Oh
game?
my goodness. You know what? I'm talking about weed and feed sometimes. Shit, he was hurting it, brother. He was hurting it. But again, they were giving us empty. They were giving us 4 strong. He's just dropping the wrong way. Because why? He didn't know. He was not prepared to see the things he saw.
Maurice Clark 8408 says, question, is Sharon Moore holding Bryce Underwood back and not letting him play, Van?
He's a freshman. Who see fans read the press clippings. This kid's a freshman. I would love to be coaching against a guy on the other side of the ball that's a freshman. I don't care who he is. He's gonna do freshman things. Right now, I watch Underwood. He has the dancing feet. He don't trust his offensive lineman. He's looking to escape even when he has time. Therefore, he's always throwing off balance or he's running when he don't have to. Sometimes the protection was good versus USC. He took off running and threw some bad balls. So we sit back and say, well, Sharon is holding this guy back. No, they're giving the kid what he can handle. He is a freshman quarterback. Each week he's seeing a different defense, a different scheme, a different pressure package. He didn't see that in high school. He was by far the best player in the whole area in high school. So he can go out there and run around and run 70 yards for a touchdown. He's getting caught right now, Sam. It's not college. This is Big Ten football. And they're going to run him down. So they're not holding him back. People, Sharon holding him back. No, they're giving the kid everything he can handle and some. And there's people saying he needs more help outside. And I told you, number 1 and number 4, they showed up. Did I not say it? Did I not say that, Sam? Did I not say that? See, they know they're listening. They listening, Sam. But the 1 interception he threw, he's trying to force the ball to my man, number 1, and my little number 0, he's wide open on the corner route. But see, that goes to he's trying to force a play when it's in high school. He got away with that. This is not high school.
Yeah. All right. So one of you guys, they want to know about your guy number 6.
Hillman,
Maurice said Hillman. He says Hillman missing a lot of tackles. Shadyville says Hillman needs to wrap up more instead of always looking to deliver the knockout blow.
that's true. I agree.
Not Chad Pennington. Bob Pennington says Hillman leaves his feet and dives all the time. So what do you see with?
He needs to wrap up. He needs to run. He looks for the big hit way too much. Sometimes when the position he plays, every once in a while you get some of those knockout shots. But the biggest thing from that position, get him on the ground so he can line up and play again. And see, Rob Moore was good at that. Get him on the ground. He knew when to take his shot. It's like a boxer. I mean, I'm jabbing until it comes open. Now, when I get that chance, then I throw it. Well, Hillman's throwing haymakers every single time, which is going to cause him to miss some plays. And it shows up against really good athletes, which USC had good athletes.
Last two. This one comes from here it is right here, Shadyville. So outside of Hillman, he wants to know what can be attributed to a much higher rate in missed tackles over the last few seasons in your mind, Vance.
We're getting more and more guys in open space where it's one-on-one tackles. When you have guys gang tackling, that means you got 3 or 4 guys getting to the football. That ball carrier is not trying to be out there, shake, rattle, and roll. I'm going to put my foot on the ground and go. Therefore, it's easier to get a guy on the ground. But when you're out there one-on-one and he can shake, rattle, and roll for a long time, you can have more missed tackles. It's just that simple. And you can work on it over and over again, but it's not the easiest thing to do. We've had some really good players in the past where it's like catch and hit right now. You throw a ball, there was no space. Right now, it's space. So now you're making an open field tackle by yourself. And that's been the issue more than anything else.
All right. And last one, Vance. Hey, Vance. It's from G Blood 13. Why is lining up such an issue?
Up-tempo got us. Up-tempo got us a bunch. We're trying to get the perfect call. We're running guys in and out. And now he goes in, he comes out because they couldn't stop the football. So, again, that's part of the issue. Up-tempo. Now, you go back to Mike McDonald. What was said about him about up-tempo? Remember that, Sam? Say up-tempo giving him problems. Jesse. Say up-tempo giving Jesse problems. Well, guess what? You give him with the same problems. All those guys having the same issue. It affects a lot of coaches across the country, not just Michigan. A lot of coaches have those issues. So it causes you, once again, Sam, to simplify what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, you can adjust what's out there.
Yeah, and so give me your so map out the week of practice and then give me your prediction on the game. You sort of already kind of broad brushed it for me, but how your approach with the guys in practice. You kind of gave me your thoughts, but how, if you coach Vance, be Coach Vance, as you're approaching the guys through the week of practice, lay it out for me and then give me your prediction.
I'm going back to the fundamentals and the technique at every position. I'm a defensive end. I'm a 5 technique. How do you play a down block? If a guy's blocking down, it means I'm going to get a counter or pull a backside. What should you be doing? I'm working on that. I'm working on a 3 technique. If I'm getting a duo, how do I play that duo to get off that block and split that double team? If I'm a linebacker, what's my key? If my key is a guard, he pulls, I'm gone. I should be yelling, pull, pull, pull. But guess what? My 3 technique, my nose should be saying, hey, he's sitting light. He's sitting light. That means he's a puller. So all those things, I'm working on the fundamentals to the secondaries. I'm moving around. I should always tell these guys, Sam, do not disguise yourself out of position. I love to disguise. But when you put yourself in a position where all of a sudden you disguise and you can't get out, don't do that. Get set, get ready to go, and let's line up and be fundamentally sound. So at every position, those are things I'm working on. My run fits, how our linebackers fit, how the secondary fit. I'm getting things cleaned up. And now, because I saw so much empty and 4 strong, I'm making sure in 7-on-7, whether my upcoming team is doing it or not, it's going to be in 7-on-7. It's going to be in some walkthroughs. We're not going through that again based on what's in the game plan that our kids have no idea what to do.
Great stuff, Vance. How do your winner and your score for this game? Washington can run the football. They have a dynamic receiver and a quarterback that's a dual threat. So what do you see in this game?
I don't like dual threat quarterbacks, Sam. I don't like those guys, Sam. First of all, offense got to score more than 14 points, Sam. That's not good. You're not beating anybody with that. Okay, so we got to do a better job there. But how we playing right now, the defense needs to hold this opponent to 24 points. That's a lot of points, Sam. We need to hold them to 24 points in order to win. That means we got to score at least 25. It's just that simple. So right now, it's 27-24. 27-24. If they score more than 24 points, we will not win this ball game. We're not winning this ball game.
Got it down, folks. I think many of the things that you said, Vance, because they got eyes and they've been coaching for a long time, I think we're going to see. I definitely think we're going to see them simplify some. Definitely think we're going to see them run some, some base defense, some cover three, because we've seen them do that in the past. Now, beyond that, I have no idea. I'm just drawing from history of things that we've seen them do in the past. Now, what other changes we might see them make, I have,
I wish he would go back to his strong buzz. That means that he's rotating the safety and nickel back to the same side and backers go the other way. I mean, he liked that defense a lot last year. I thought he had good success with it. And I don't know how much he's run it this year. I haven't noticed it. But if I was Wink, I'd be going back to that. I'll be running some cover six, quarter half, protect my boundary corner a little bit to take away some plays. But again, I mean, I have no idea what he's going to do. I have no idea what their defensive staff is suggesting or how forcibly they're suggesting things. Well, we can't do this. Our guys can't handle this. That's great on paper, but on game day, it isn't great. I mean, it gets to a point that you have to say those kind of things. And I was one of those guys, secondary coach. I work with Greg Madison, Jim Herman. They'll tell you some things I said. God, we can't do that. That's not going to work. I said, you got to get me fired. I said, I'm not ready to get fired.
Hey, I sound like the DB coach said, "Hey, protect my guys." Sound like BJ guys. Hey, man, protect my guys.
Yeah,
protect my linebackers.
So,
protect my linebackers.
So they need to step up, man. Step up, or you're hurting your team. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, that's gonna do it for us, folks, here on another edition. I hope you enjoyed. You didn't get any Buckeye trolls. We have Buckeye trolls on the one with Al. They didn't come in this one, so
I'm surprised. They should have.
We'll see y'all next time on the next edition of the Michigan Football Breakdown, focused on the defense with Vance Bedford. We'll see you next time.
Go Blue.